Welcome back to The Perspective on Bari Desatu. I'm Blaise Hope with Mayor Ahmed Abutaleb of Rotterdam. We've spoken a lot about your visit to Indonesia and ports. Now let's talk a bit about you. You invite comparisons directly to the governor of Jakarta, Basuki Cahayapurnama, known as Ahok. He's a minority Chinese Indonesian. You're of Moroccan descent. You came to the Netherlands when you were 15.
Yeah. Let me say that I find it really a great symbol of tolerance and acceptance that the actual president, when he was governor, that he selected Mr. Ahok to be his deputy. That is really a great symbol of tolerance and acceptance. That does not exist everywhere in the Islamic world. So let it be a lesson for all of us. I'm a very unique kind of mayor. A son of an immigrant, a classic guest worker, as we call them in Europe. My parents, luckily not there, they're still alive to see what happens. To become mayor of a major city in the Netherlands and a major city in Europe. That is also a signal of tolerance and acceptance, that not where you have been born, neither your religion or your cultural background is the main denominator to select someone for, in this case, to be mayor of Rotterdam. But the quality of what you have to deliver.
Well, touching on tolerance, you've spoken out quite forcefully about radicalism and your feelings about it. In the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks, I mean, you made headlines, and the mayor of my hometown, Boris Johnson, called you his hero.
Yeah, I know Boris Johnson very well. He invited me last year to attend a meeting in London, the great city of London, about the about safety and issues and policing and law enforcement. So we are connected. Yes, I had the feeling that I make a strong statement. We have had a big meeting in one of the squares of the city of Rotterdam. Thousands of people come there. Has been broadcasted live by the Dutch television. And my statement was, there is space in Europe for a wide diversity of religions. You may celebrate your religion the way you want, whatever it is. You might be Protestant, Muslim, Catholic, Hindu, whatever. We have also freedom of speech. And we have a judicial system. So if a journalist or a cartoonist write or draws something you don't like, the system says, go to judge. That's the ultimate institute to say what is wrong and what is not wrong. And we will never accept that you leave the Netherlands, go to Yemen to learn how to shoot with a Kalashnikov, to construct your own truth, that if someone has a different opinion or is drawing something different, that that's not according to what you believe that's right, that use your Kalashnikov to kill the others. That would not be accepted. And if you are belonging to this, what I think, small group of people, then you are now belonging to what I call the we community. I work to construct the we community. Everyone within the community, the diversity of opinions and religions, welcome in the we community, even if you are radical. That's not an issue. Being radical, we have had a political party in the Netherlands called Political Party Radicals. Having radical ideas is sometimes very important to generate creativity and new things. But moving from having radical ideas to use violence, then you are not anymore part of my big society, my big we community, then you are outside. Well, then I say, if you are that willing to use violence, first of all, it's my duty to catch you with the police and bring it to the court system. But I have the idea that if you do not want to live with us in the we community, you may also consider not to be with us. There is enough space in the world where you can live according to your ideas and to your explanation of your religion. Go and be part with the others in another country. If you like Yemen, go to Yemen and leave us, and don't come back to kill journalists with an opinion you don't like. So that was the statement I gave to this people.
Well, a couple of months after that statement, there was a poll released that showed you as the most popular politician in the Netherlands. And at the bottom of that list of 12 was Geert Wilders, the anti-Islam MP. How important do you see yourself as the face of modern Europe? This is before we got to go.
Well, that's, I think, too big to consider myself. At least you should not say that about yourself, to be the face of modern Europe. But I have the idea that I have the personal touch, the personal approach, and maybe the personal responsibility to address this issue. I have maybe the credibility to say things on this subject as strong as it can be. And I think that if Boris Johnson is saying that, with all respect, he will be maybe considered to be racist. And that's, I think, the dilemma of a lot of European politicians, not to be in the position to tell maybe the same story as I can do.
Well, he says it has to be a Muslim voice.
That's not the issue. The Muslim community in Europe must also have the feeling that it's protected. That's 16 million Muslims in Europe, and they feel that they are in the corner where they are beaten and where they feel the pain, the social pain of these radical people in Europe. Yeah. So we must give them the feeling they are protected, they are part of our society, they belong to we communities, and they are not targeted. The only ones who are targeted is the few little group who is not only radical but also willing to use violence even against them. I mean, if someone is putting a bomb in Italy's train and that explodes, it's not discriminating who is in the train. The Muslims nowadays are more victims of radical violence in the world than the Europeans or the Americans. Look in Iraq, what is happening. Look to Syria, what is happening. Look to Yemen, what is happening. The individual Muslims are more targeted by radical. That's, I think, the reason why I say to the Muslims in the world, say no to these people. And that's not because you have to deliver a speech necessarily, but just to show to them that you are not protecting these elements.
Well, we have to hold up there. I have one very quick question before we pull out. Would you consider running for Prime Minister in the next couple of years?
Being mayor of the city of Rotterdam is the best job ever and the best position you can get in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Real pleasure.
Thank you.
Join us next time on The Perspective, and see you around.